textures without transparency. In this video, you will import an image without a transparent layer, which means no alpha channel. We're going to understand that this is useful if you have no image editing software to hand, no time to process a load of images, or just trying out images for your textures. So what is alpha? Well, basically an image contains an alpha channel. Each pixel is represented additionally by a numerical value which specifies the opacity of that pixel. In alpha channels, 100% or a value of 1 specifies it being opaque, and 0 or 0% or 0 specifies a transparent pixel, i.e. it emits nothing. It is completely transparent. Now we must understand that this is not the best way. It's ideal to have a solid coloured background with these images, either 100% black or 100% white, to help separate the image from the background. White is better because your image itself may contain black, and we don't want to make anything that's dark in the image transparent. Now it would be best if your images are processed to include an alpha or a transparency channel. So then we have the red, green, blue and alpha, so RGBA. That's what that little acronym you'll see dotted about the place means. Okay, so now we've discussed those bits, let's hop over and see this in Blender. Okay, so back over in Blender, let's go ahead and import the image that does have a background image. So let's move these two grass plants out the way and center the 3D cursor and go ahead and add a mesh that's an image as planes. Go into the Nature's pack and the grass blade with background JPEG. And if we go to the thumbnails, you can see it's quite clearly here. Now this one here and either Grass Blade 01 or Grass Blade 03 are actually the same image. I have gone in with an image editing software and created the PNG for it, but we're going to play now with the background and essentially use Blender itself to create a mask to basically do the job of alphaing, to make that white background transparent. So let's open up that image and see what we've got. Now I think at this point in time we can bring in our node that we know works. So I'm going to delete the diffuse shader and I'm going to add in the one we've already built, the transparent BSDF. Oh no, not that one, I do apologise. I can't remember what I've called it. It's a very good idea to remember what you've called things. How embarrassing. In fact, the easiest way of quickly checking it is called make. Okay, so let's go in and search for make. Perhaps I should have put transparent at the front. Important when you're naming files that you obviously remember what you name them, and I forgot what I've named it and that was 5 minutes ago. Oh my word. So let's link these things together. So the colour in and the shader out, and we should get the image appearing. And what we're going to do is break out this group here. Now we've got a factor here going up and down because there's nothing actually plugged in at the moment, and this factor was going to control the transparency. So because it's set at 0, it means that it's completely transparent. If you remember, a value of 0 means that the alpha channel lets everything through. It's completely transparent, and if we set that to 1, then we see the image in its full glory. Now we can't use the alpha channel of the image texture because it doesn't have one. It's as simple as that. It's a JPEG, it's outputting RGB, red, green and blue pixels, and that's it. So we're going to have to create our own alpha channel essentially, and we can use the colour coming out of here to do that. First of all, let's expand our group here. So once the group is selected, we're going to have to edit it slightly. So let's go into Node and Ungroup, and you can see the shortcut key there is Alt and G. And that will break it apart again into its various parts. So before, when we had the colour coming through into the diffuse shader here and coming out into our surface material, so it's flowing through here. Now the transparent one isn't doing anything at the moment because it doesn't know what to mix. In fact, it just says it's transparent, and if we move this up and down, it just makes our image, our whole image, transparent or not. So we're going to have to add something using the color channel itself into this chain to control this factor. We're going to have to essentially make our own mask. So let's see what happens when we move the color into the factor. Let's just try that. So it makes it go black. That's good, because that means that if we play around with these, we can see that the colour itself has some influence over what's shown and what's not, what becomes black and white. So there is some information there that we can use. So with that in mind, what we've got to consider here is what do we need to link in from the colour, and what do we need to come out in order to make our mask? Well, if the image is white here, we need anything that's probably less than white, and remember a white on the value of 0 to 1 is 1 on red, green and blue. It's 100% red, 100% green, 100% blue. Anything that's less than 100% we can leave on, and anything that's higher than that can be transparent. So I've got a challenge for you with that in mind. I would like you to make the white background transparent. Now you will need a math node for this. Change the node to an appropriate type. Think about what needs to be done to that white background. What does it need? And make the white background transparent. So you may have to change the value in order to make it nice and neat, or even zoom into the image to make sure that you've not gone over the top. So pause the video now and give this a go. Okay guys, welcome back. Before we hop over into Blender, you did give this a go, right? I know it's quite tricky, the math node looks complicated. If you haven't, pause the video again and do give it a go. For the rest of you, let's hop straight on over into Blender and link all of these things up. So we're going to use the color channel coming out of here to control this factor. Because at the moment it's just doing the whole image, and I know we need a math node, and I've told you that as well, because otherwise finding it is difficult. So searching for math, that's what I've done before, so let's bring up the math node. Now the reason why it's a bit of a pain to search for is simply because it's not called what you need it to be called. So I'm just going to plumb in the colour to the value, and this value here coming out. In fact, I'm going to look at straight what I'm generating first of all. So I'm going to see the mask I'm creating, because I've cut off. The output is now showing me exactly what's going on with this at the moment, and add. Now I want this white surface, anything that's less than white or greater than black or something, to be right. So let's try less than white to begin with. So let's go down to less than. Excellent, so let's play with this value here and see what it does. So obviously a value of -18 is not going to be great. Let's start at 0 and just click this one at a time. So our image is appearing when we're doing that. That's looking great. So let's just keep upping it, and when it, there we go, when it reaches 1, it's not complete. I bet if we took it one further, the whole thing goes white. Okay, so I think this is the setting we need, which is looking really good. And obviously at some point we're going to lose the image itself. So by plugging the value back into the factor and then the shader output to the surface, that's looking really good. Right, let's zoom into this surface and see how it's looking. Now I've got a value here of 0.6, and if I turn that up, eventually the edges get really fuzzy. Now obviously if there's anything that is pure white on our image, it can start to eat away. So this edge here is actually quite light, so if we go too low on this value, it starts to put gaps in our image, and that is no good. See there that part of our image is now missing, and up here, in fact, there's a whole section missing. So let's go up, and it's about 50% at the moment. Let's increase it a little more. I think that area at the top there is thin anyway, so by the looks of things, about a value of 0.6 seems to look quite good. Excellent. Do try this with other images you've got too. Go out and grab something, take a photo of it against a white background and see how it comes across in Blender. Do share your blade of grass in the discussions, and I will see you in the next lecture.